nerderotic.com.
All right, let's start out with some good news, shall we? Amidst all the bad news we've been bombarded with over the last 4 months, Twitter was hacked last night. They got Elon Musk, they got Joe Biden, they got Obama, and they got a bunch of people. And it was some Bitcoin thing, but I think there was more to it than that. I believe that was a cover to get more stuff, maybe to send a message. I don't know, but it sent a really good message. It was really peaceful on Twitter for a little while there, and I enjoyed it. But we got one great thing out of it. Rian Johnson is gone. Not permanently, unfortunately, but I could say, you can erase the Disney trilogy or bring a George Lucas cut, but this is victory. This is what victory tastes like. Hail the fandom menace. I know that's going to trigger all the right people. Now, of course, he's tweeting under Knives Out now, but still, Twitter's going to fix it for him. Take your time, Twitter. Take your time. So this is the Super Chat Square Up for Friday Night Tights with Kurt Metzger, which was a great show. Got a lot of great feedback on it. And we'll have him back someday. And Jeremy will be back today, and so will Odin, I believe. And our special guest will be Ethan Van Sciver. And I've got Lady Gravemaster working on some guests in the future that I know you'll like, because I like them. They're people I subscribe to. And to answer the question, yes, we will be bringing on up-and-coming YouTubers as well. I haven't forgotten that. You'll have to forgive me. Life's a little busy right now, so that's why I've brought on Lady Gravemaster. And once she's trained up, we're going to get this Friday Night Tights thing. I won't ever call it a well-oiled machine. I don't think it would be very good if it was a well-oiled machine. We don't really plan. All we need is especially last Friday, we had one subject that we couldn't get through. So we're gonna finish up hopefully with the Whisper Network thing this Friday, and we're gonna talk about some Star Trek sexism, because I know that's what everybody wants to talk about, and more cancel culture. And whatever happens between now and tomorrow morning, we'll see who else gets canceled or what company does some stupid thing. But we're going to start out with Friday Night Tights here. So let's just get to it, shall we? Let's get to it. But before we do, I didn't do much of anything today. I was going to record a video. Wasn't really feeling it. Thought, maybe I'll watch a couple episodes of Doctor Who. It ended up being, I lost count. I started watching War Games, and it bled into Spearhead from Space, and now I'm probably going to embark on a rewatch of Doctor Who from the end of the second Doctor on. Why not? And it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard watching it, knowing where it ends up now. Does it take away anything from the show? Not really. They can't take that away. Chris Chibnall can't take that away. It's going to be very hard to imagine the Sasha Dewan Master interacting with the second Doctor, just because the eras are so different. And that sexism article I talked about earlier about Star Trek, I can't wait to see something like that with Doctor Who. So, it's from IO9, it's from Gizmodo, and it's basically calling, Jodie Whittaker said Doctor Who was a practice in the male gaze. It was a whole article like that for Star Trek. So, if you're a Star Trek and Doctor Who fan, you understand how I feel. And there's people who are willing to be vocal about it. There's people who aren't. And I understand that. You don't want to get into the BS that goes on online, because it can get pretty ugly. And we will be talking about that on Saturday at noon. We're going to do a special RIP Doctor Who live stream, The Fury of the Whovians, starring Bowles Trek, Noel from the TARDIS Zone. We're going to get Svi Lebetkin. I haven't heard from him yet, but hopefully we can get him. Philip Morris, the Doctor Who archivist, and Blue Bonnet Whovian, and others. So please join us on Saturday. I think that'll be pretty fun. But yeah, it was great watching Doctor Who today. It was. Also, last night I listened to The Sandman, a full cast audio drama on Audible, and it was pretty good. I think, and maybe I'll do a full review of it. I should be done in a couple days. And yes, I haven't forgotten about Doom Patrol. I'll get caught up eventually, probably next week. But it was really good, but it kind of suffers from what Big Finish suffers from. Now, I've been listening to audio dramas since I was a wee little lad. And as the years have gone on and technology has gotten better, they get overproduced. There's like too much going on. They feel like they can't have like a moment of silence. And, you know, this is going to be a passion project that nobody's going to watch. I will do, and I will, you know what, I'll promise it by the end of the year. It'll be after Picard, obviously. I will do a full review on one of my favorite things in the world, the BBC Lord of the Rings audio drama starring Ian Holm. I love that thing as much as I love The Day the Country Died by the Subhumans, Frankenchrist by Dead Kennedys, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy audio drama, Metal by Pink Floyd. It's just up there in my top 10. I've listened to it over and over again since I was a kid. So yeah, I'm going to do a review on that. I wonder if somebody has. They probably have, but I haven't bothered to look. And I will after I do this. So let's get to the Super Chat Square Up. A lot of talk about cancel culture. If you go back and watch the show, if you haven't watched the show, Kurt Metzger has been a victim of that. So he knows what he's talking about. He's been on Joe Rogan. It's one of the biggest guests we've had on the show. But again, we're not going to let this crap go to our heads. We're going to mix it up. We're going to try to get big YouTubers and up and coming YouTubers and podcasters and maybe people who haven't created content. We'll see. And we're going to get you guys on. We're going to start with my patrons. There is a level on Patreon that will eventually get retired, but I'm going to bring some people on, and that's going to start in the next 2 weeks. Thanks to Lady Gravemaster. Again, I am very grateful to have a producer who is very competent. She's going to make this channel much, much better. And we also, of course, have to thank Mrs. Nerdrotic, who has been a force behind the scenes as well. She handles all the merch. Not that we have much of it yet, but we do giveaways and stuff, and she handles that. Travel. I mean, you know, on top of, well, at the time running her business. Unfortunately, she has a lot of free time in her hands now, thanks to London Breed in San Francisco. You guys know all about that, so I won't bore you with it. In SoCal, it's 90 degrees, and they make us eat on the asphalt. I wouldn't be surprised, because we can't eat inside of a restaurant right now. You know, I'm in San Francisco. It doesn't get to 90 very much. Hail the 10th Doctor. Hail Garrett. Hail Kurt. Hail everyone. Recently rewatched The Lord of the Rings extended editions and shed manly tears multiple times. Those damn speeches will get you, man. Oh, some pretty applicable words for today from J.R.R. Tolkien. Where now are the horse and the rider? Where is the horn that was blowing? Where is the helm and the hauberk and the bright hair flowing? Where is the harp on the harp string and the red fire glowing? Where is the spring and the harvest and the tall corn growing? They have passed like rain on the mountains, like a wind in the meadow. The days have gone down in the west, behind the hills into shadow. Who shall gather the smoke of the dead wood burning, or behold the flowing years from the sea returning? The Vigil for $5. Hail, I made a podcast last year with a friend of 10 years about the occult. He changed all the passwords on me and ran away with it. Be careful, people. Always be careful of your partners, especially if they have access to your YouTube channel. Wise words. Terry Slaughter for $2. Need Native American transgender midget superheroes. Well, you know, those are coming. They're coming. Just be careful what you wish for. You just might get it, but you'll get canceled first for saying midget, I think. Stargate 404 for $5 reminds me of the news where 4 high schoolers who conspired to accuse a boy of drape for poops and giggles. One felt bad and confessed after he got expelled. Yeah, regret is a good thing, and hopefully he grows from it. Yellow Flash 2 for $2. Tamara Bonvillain confirmed the group years ago also. She did, didn't she? I mean, we've always known it was there, right? Yellow Flash. It was just nice to see confirmation. Now, I like the article. They did good work. I need a little more on the Whisper Network. So I'm waiting for that second drop. Michael Deich for $5. Does Hollywood realize their business model is not screwed? They've deliberately alienated many fans. Now people are scared to go to the theater as well. Yeah, I mean, people are scared to death because they're getting a bunch of bad information. And if we try to give you even the corrected information, we'll get banned, but the authoritative sources can run with lies forever. Miranda Sinistra. Cool last name. Sinistra. Please make a t-shirt that says 2 in the stunning, 1 in the brave. Oh, I like that. 2 in the stunning, 1 in the brave. Nice. Boiling Blood. Whisper Network sounds like a mafia. Well, it is. It's a mafia of Karens. It's a mafia of Karens that run the comic book industry, and a bunch of cowards. I mean, Sean Gordon Murphy ran from Twitter with his tail between his legs, and he's going to get off of Indiegogo and just go work and make Batman. And honestly, I love the guy, and I am not going to buy Harley Quinn White Knight. No thanks. Over Harley Quinn. Done. Completely overplayed. Just like Deadpool gets completely overplayed. It's a one-trick pony, breaking the fourth wall, gets boring, and then the character goes away and it comes back in 10 years. And the only reason Deadpool stayed popular for this long this time is because of the movies. And we'll see if we get a Deadpool 3. Remember, folks, movies are a long way off, and you might find better things to do. You might find that I'm not in a big hurry to go into a movie theater. Now, me personally, I would go into a movie theater and sit right next to somebody. I'm not worried. Because I went, if I have a real question about what's going on out there, I'll talk to my physician, and I will go and look at the real numbers, not the messed up ones, not the, I guess these ones could be messed up too. But here locally, there is no reason we should be shut down. And I'll shut up about it now. Miguel Olmo for $49.99. Thank you, Miguel. We are all in a culture dark age, from Star Wars to Doctor Who, and everything in between has fallen. But there will be a new renaissance, and people like you and I who lead the charge, a new worlds, new heroes, new legends, hope will rise again. Hail, Miguel. Hail. Yes, we will just do what we always do. We are the do-it-yourself generation. I saw a content creator who I respect blame what's going on Gen X, and I can't argue with them. A lot of my generation is a giant disappointment. Directionless, leaderless, clueless. But we've got each other. Here in the realm of common sense. And yes, we have our critics, and sometimes you could be defined by your enemies and critics, and I am proud to have the critics that we have, because it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. We'll talk about it on Friday Night Tights. Fat Steven Seagal Batgirl for $2. Porking Pork Podcast, yoink. Porking Porg Podcast, yoink. Sorry, did I say pork? Ian Slater for $5. Ryan is on to something. It makes sense. Woke culture equals matriarchy. Yeah. The matriarchy. They want the matriarchy to take over. There is a lot of people out there, including a lot of them in the European Union, that believe that if women are in charge, we will not have as much strife. Well, there is a female mayor in Seattle. We got a female mayor here. And both cities are complete disasters right now, showing that women can be just as dumb as men. There would be as many wars, as much conflict, because they're human beings. We are different in a lot of ways, but generally, still humans. Last time I checked. Hey, Gary, I think I'm bisexual, but still haven't found the dude who I like, but I'm bi, right? Andre Fernandez for $50. Well, if you want to get a job in Hollywood, yes, the answer is yes. But if are you saying you're like a non-practicing bi, but it wasn't for lack of trying? I mean, just keep trying, you know? You get back on that horse and you go, you know? You know what? There's someone for everyone. Look at some of the people who are married out there. Modalicious for $5. That was a Crowder skit. I need you to know where I put my weenus. TNA, Vaja, all day, every day. Camera pans back to reveal more people in the room. Modalicious. Modalicious. Snell World for $5. Why is DC so worried about making a Zatanna movie, when they should be making a Superman movie and introduce Martian Manhunter or someone else? Because every movie has to star a whammon right now because of Hollywood. And I like the character of Zatanna, but the one that's popular, the one that was made popular in the comic books by a lot of men buying it, will not be presented. It'll be a intersectional feminist Zatanna, and it will do about as well as Birds of Prey did. Probably worse, because it doesn't have Margot Robbie. The new Batwoman description sounds like a villain. Escamonofono for $4.99. Yeah, that was a lot of the criticism. In the video that I didn't do, my thesis was Hollywood is racist. And I almost said unintentionally, but I don't think it's unintentionally. Of course, they made the first black Batwoman a drug dealer, basically. That's not racist at all. Why couldn't she have been a lawyer? You know, why couldn't she have owned a Starbucks? You know, Snail World for $5. Julie Newmar is still my favorite Catwoman because no one has wore the cat suit like that since. No, Julie Newmar is a woman, not these little girls. I mean, look at Bree. Bree's 30. She looks like she's 14. She acts like she's 12. That's part of the problem, too. You know, we've got no men in Hollywood. We've got no women in Hollywood either. Batwoman audition. You have to show your ability to lick Catwoman in the Batcave. Says screw the bobbin. Oh, boy. For £5. Fragaboom for $1.99. What up to the panel? Fragaboom. Fragaboom, dude. Fragaboom. Noti1 for $5. These lunatics are not leftists. They are progressive fascists. Get it right. I know some people who are a little left and some are liberal that are awesome. I know a lot. That are awesome. Twitter has ruined society, says Yellow Flash for $2. Yes. Absolutely. You know, Facebook plays a little part in that, but Twitter is the king of shite, of complete shite. Cosplay pornography has more integrity than all of Hollywood comic book movies, says Luger, long last name. Well, I gotta say that Kenzie Taylor is my Captain Marvel, and she wears the costume perfectly. Fragaboom for $4.99. Gary, YouTube nuked my channel. I have a new one. It's Fragaboom. Thanks, man. Love to you and as. Love to you. We will get you on, and I need to talk to you, Dan Fraga. I want to bring you on the show, but I need to talk to you too. Used to buy Valiant comics like Exo Manowar and Ninjak all the time. Haven't bought one since Antos got hired. Love this show, by the way. You're all great. Jedi Nightwing for $5. You're great. We're okay. We are a bunch of regular guys. We are fans just like you, and you have through our hard work and your great support that we are very fortunate to have. And it's a privilege to have your support. It just makes it fun. So thank you. It's been a hell of a ride, and it's because of you. Crispy Critters for $2. The fandom menace is a force. Hollywood knows it. They do. They do. And they're going to be hearing a lot from us over the next 3 years. You know, remember at the end of the year when a certain Boulder King was saying, I mean, others were saying it too. Dime Store Doomcock was doing it too. They were saying how the fandom menace was dead. The fandom menace. Well, it's a hashtag. It's going to run its course. I mean, you know, I was wondering, like, you know, what direction do we go in? But I never thought it was dead. I thought it would be needed more than ever, especially with the MCU. But now it's everything again. It's absolutely everything. The world still needs the fandom menace, much to the chagrin of some people. I shouldn't even bother mentioning, really, but what the hell. Ian Slater for $5. The reason I do is I have a couple people who, I mean, they're awesome, all right? And they scour the internet. And if somebody says even the slightest thing bad about me, they let me know. And you know what? I'm not complaining. That's nice. They got my back. That's awesome. So I get some video and I'll get report here and report there. And, you know, most of the time, like if they're criticizing like a rumor or something, you know, that's fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with that at all. And they can criticize me. I don't have a problem with that either. But one in particular has been really running with the we're racist and sexist because this person is just thirsty, dying of thirst out there in the desert, dying of thirst and wanting us to bite. And, you know, I'm not going to debate the person. I don't care what that person thinks. And all I'll say is, you know, one day, if we can ever go outside again, there'll be a Comic-Con, there'll be a VidCon where we might cross paths, and then we can discuss it. Question to the panel: is the She Who Will Not Be Named channel a Trojan horse situation for something bigger? Thoughts? Am I wrong to think it is? Ian Slater for $5. You're not wrong to think that, but upon further review, Brie Larson is here to get attention. She is starved for attention. She's not getting the attention she's used to getting in Hollywood. Plus, you know, and I don't know if I'll make a video out of this. Maybe not. But I'd really like to do a video on this subject. I just don't know. Like, it's got to have a hook, you know. So the subject is the death of the movie star. Like, we don't need movie stars. It's now franchises. And if you have a franchise with somebody who's well known and, you know, if they're like Robert Downey Jr. associated to the MCU, that's a big movie star. But Robert Downey Jr. goes and does another movie, doesn't do very well. Well, you know, for us old guys, we remember 20 years ago when Tom Cruise or Julia Roberts was in a movie, people would go see it automatically. Or there was a director that people would go see automatically. Like Spielberg, you know, used to be a hit machine for the longest time. That's not the case anymore. It's just not the case. You know, Quentin Tarantino has its fans, but, you know, and it's consistent money, which is hard to get in Hollywood these days, but it's not blockbuster money. Christopher Nolan is pretty much the last one. Remember when arena rock kind of died out? Christopher Nolan is like the death of arena rock. And honestly, that's another thing I'm trying to formulate in my head is you can really relate the 70s music scene to what Hollywood is going through right now. It got too bloated. It got too corporate. And what came out of the 70s music scene? Punk rock. Oscar Meyer, thank you for the super sticker. Mary Ann for 55 Danish Krota. Gotta say, that's a bad, awesome panel tonight. This is the way. And Marion, thank you so much. You are brilliant as well. From Norway. Got a lot of Norwegian folks watching the show, and that's great. And Marion has been around for a while, and we dig it. Star Trekker 58 for $5 Australian. Hope police check goes okay for Batwoman. If she is not an ex-drug runner, she won't get the role. Should be easy to check her caravan and plant cred. Yeah, should do her background check. I could actually advise her on some drug running if she needs some advice. Nick Creshawn for $4.99. Each week the show just gets more and more impressive. Why, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, we have a great group of guys, and you really need to sub to all of them. Their links will be in the description for the Super Chat Square Up. I forgot the last one. Sorry. But Odin's Movie Blog, Comics Division, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. He's got his own channel, D-Day Cobra and Geeks and Gamers, of course. As Heel versus Babyface. Kurt Metzger has his own channel. Black Garrett has his own channel. My good friend Ryan Kinel at RK Outpost has his own channel. And of course, yours truly has Nerdrotic and Nerdrotic Live, which is just humming along. Get almost at 30,000 subs. That's crazy. It's barely a year old. The channel is barely a year old. It got bigger much faster than my original one. But Watchmen did a Captain Marvel. It had the World War I veteran handing his wife the gun while he held the baby. And a retired Air Force officer got the gun while Nick Fury held the cat. Embarrassing black man to lift the black woman. JC Rios for $5. Indeed. And they didn't stop there. They belittled the black man in Watchmen a bit with its intersectionalism while trying to pander a lot of it. And that show was just there to divide. It was very much done in the spirit of kneeling. It was. Mark C for $10. Did Lindelof's Watchmen predict the last month, or did it? His film The Hunt and others like The Purge actually work their way into the psyche to help incite the outrage? Yes, they do. They played their part, Mark, and you watched our reviews. You knew that's what we were talking about. And you know what? I gotta take my hat off to Lindelof. Cops wearing masks could be a real thing, folks. A real bad thing, but a real thing. You think cops are going to be safe? It's going to get argued for. I'll be completely against it, but it will be argued for at some point. It's like Woke Zone by Peel. All males are evil, says Stargate 404 for $2. Yes, the Watchmen, all males were dumb or evil. There was one that was somewhat competent. And you know what the thing is? The agenda came before the story. There could have been a good story there. Absolutely. Episode 5 was good. It was good. But it got derailed by its agenda, and it was just so preachy. That was the thing. It was preachy. It was white guilt. Damon Lindelof is from the school of Jar Jar Abrams and Rian Johnson. And they don't believe any of that stuff. They really don't. They are the last people who should be preaching politics and exploiting one of the most horrific instances in our history with the Tulsa massacre. And it was a massacre. And he likes to say he brought awareness to it. You know what? Do a legit film about it. Show what really happened. Because, if you don't think a lot of people know about it, or not enough people know about it, don't put it in a stupid superhero story. That was cringe. And Tom King is going to be doing a Rorschach comic. I don't know if it's going to be placed between Doomsday Clock and the TV show. I'll be sure to miss it. I have other things that can help me go to sleep, audiobooks and stuff like that. Dario Sussman gives us a thumbs up with 19 Argentinian dollars. David Tarr, by the way, thank you. Sorry. David Tarr for $1.99. Why are conservatives not creative? No empathy. Conservatives are creative. I believe that they are not attracted to the industry because it has become such an echo chamber. They don't feel welcome, but that's not true at all. There are conservative people drawing comics and writing comics right now that are in the closet. There's a lot of them in the closet, by the way. They are afraid they're going to lose their job. That is a crappy way to work. Go out on your own, do your own thing. You'll make more money if you're talented. And hey, if you got the gift of gab, try to have a platform, because that's going to be the future, folks, for a great many things. Gig economy. The gig economy is not going away. And a lot of small businesses are going to get wiped out due to some bad decisions here in California and in Washington and in Oregon. And smart people and entrepreneurs find a way. It sucks, but they find a way. Michael Tynan for $50. Hail, guys. You make my Friday special. Thanks to Kurt Metzger. Dario Sussman for 19 Argentinian dollars. He gives us a thumbs up. Awesome. David Tarr for $1.99 asks, why are conservatives not creative? No empathy? Nope. There's plenty of creative conservatives out there who are closeted out of fear of losing their job. So there's plenty of creative ones. There's a lot of people on the left and in power in the entertainment industry who are fascists. Michael Tynan for $50. Hail, guys. You make my Friday special. Thanks to Kurt Metzger and Black Garrett. And thank you both for coming on the show. Black is going to be semi-regular. When he can show up, he'll be there. Matthew Fowler for $3.99. Good evening, boys. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Matthew. We will do the very best we can. Thank you for supporting us, and thank you for being here. Hail the 10th Doctor for $2. Here's more money because the podcast has been fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Friday Night Tights. Awesome show. I am privileged enough to be part of two great live streams. The Inquisition with Doomcock, Friday Night Tights. It's a blast. Oh, and Bagging and Boarding with Az. And Cecil and your boy Zach and I are going to be doing something once a month. And we're doing a really special one this Saturday, a Doctor Who one, and maybe we can do that like once a month or something. I'm open to it. I've been trying to live stream more. Yes, I've been making less videos, but it's been working out so far. It's been working out. I try to put out 7 videos a month. I know that sounds crazy when some people do 4 a day, but that's pretty much what I do. I do 7 or 8 a month. I'm going to try to bump that up a little bit, that Lady Gravemaster, now that she's here to help. Matthew Fowler for $4.99. Metzger's here. Great addition. Thank you. Thank you. Metzger, please come back for another, says Hail the 10th Doctor for $2. Oh, he will. And I was on his podcast the next day. I will link it in the description right here. That was fun. We were with Nerdgasm. I've never met her before, but she was really cool. Crazy Cat Guy for $5. Stuck at work, but listening. Can't hang in chat tonight. Sending some coin while I am on break and have a chance. Keep up the great work. Crazy Cat Guy, thank you. You're crazy. And you're a cat guy, but we love you. My ex-wife for $5. Hail all. Love coming here every Friday. Keep up the good work. Keep up the great work, my ex-wife. That's so weird because I have one. Mr. Fish returns for $20 Australian dollars. Help from Duck at Duck. Help from Duck at Duck. What does that mean? What is that from? I don't know what that's from. Is that like a reference that I don't get? Sorry, Mr. Fish returns, but thank you for the $20. Drake is 6 for $5. Epstein got away with his trash for so long because he was friends with Bubba and Hildebeest Clinton. Hildebeest. Why did I say Hildebeest? Hildebeest Clinton Both were customers. They were on that plane a lot. That's for sure. That's a fact. That is a fact. You know, there's an article that came out in the LA Times today. Apparently, they were giving a 16-year-old boy estrogen for behavioral modification. I think it's time to retire the term conspiracy theory. Go watch the Tim Pool video on it. If this turns out to be true, there has to be hell to pay. And I think a lot of things need to be put back on the table that were poo-pooed as conspiracy theories. As the father of a special needs child who has Asperger's, I have a lot of questions. And this is something we've talked quite a bit about with multiple physicians. I feel like I'm pretty educated on the matter. My sponsor, my AA sponsor, happens to be a doctor. We've talked about it in length. And there's a lot of things he can't say either. So, yeah. Behavioral modification through estrogen. What else are they doing? I've got a lot of questions. See, there's a lot of protections. A lot of government-related entities that protect people who might be victimizing and abusing kids. Unions. Things like that. And I wish it wasn't so. I really don't. I got a story about that. Someday I will tell. Someday I'll tell. It is against the law for films to have anti-police messages in China. Is it, Muffet One? I'm not surprised for $5. I am not surprised. Yet, are they behind some of the anti-police messaging over here? I would think so. I'm sure they benefit from a little discourse, but not too much because they are still economically tethered to us. And they've got their own problems over there. Some runs on the bank going on. That could happen here. I highly recommend y'all, if you are in a situation where you can just stow a little cash away, do it. It's also good to have, that's always good. We have earthquakes here. So we always had what we called our go bags, right? Those are always packed with like a change of clothes, an extra pair of shoes, some toothpaste, a little bit of food, just in case like the house falls down because of an earthquake or something like that. Hemsworth and Evans for the bisexual kiss, please. It says, hail the 10th doctor for $2. It'll probably cost you more than $2. I'm just guessing. Star Trekker 58 for $5 Australian. Hail Gary and my favorite YouTubers. Seeing you can only give positive reviews now. I am positive I don't like current Doctor Who, Star Trek, and Star Wars. I am positive as well. Thank you, Star Trekker 58. It's, we call them Doctor Who, Star Trek, and Star Wars, but that's not what they are anymore. They are, okay, so there's Disney Star Wars. That's why I call it Disney Star Wars. I don't call it Star Wars. And it's either fake Trek. I kind of like Star Wrecked right now. Star Wrecked. And, I haven't, Chibnall Who, Pooh Who. I don't even call it New Who. We could call it Pooh Who. I don't know. We'll talk about that Saturday, what we need to call it. I have been using the hashtag RIP Doctor Who. Now, the reason I don't use the proper hashtags is when you use the proper hashtags, it helps the brand. Star Trek relies heavily on Parrot Analytics, and they were getting a lot of play earlier because they counted the criticism as a positive view or a view, because Parrot Analytics goes by hashtags used in conversations on Facebook and Twitter and other places to collate data to see how many people are interested in the show. So they call it an impression. They call it an impression if you use the hashtag. So I stopped and I asked people to stop using the hashtag Doctor Who, Star Trek. Not that Doctor Who uses Parrot Analytics, but it helps them when we use it. And Star Wars. So I always use Disney Star Wars, RIP Star Trek, RIP Picard, Star Wrecked, Fake Trek, one of those, and RIP Doctor Who. Columbus Banker Bob for $20 US. I may not be the first to notice, but you are too shy for Hollywood Squares, and RK would be Paul Lind. Or for Brady Bunch, and RK would be Alice. We need to have a background that looks like the Brady Bunch, right? Or Hollywood Squares. That's a great idea. I should do that. System Revolt for $1.99. You guys are speaking the truth tonight. Why, thank you. And it's going to get harder to do. Every time you bring up a certain subject, YouTube ghosts, suppresses. They're doing that. So I'm going to be using a lot of YouTube speak, so you'll have to forgive me. Morgan Naslin for $49.99. Love you guys. God bless and keep up the awesome work. You are more inspiring than you'll ever know. Wow. Probably not. I won't, but that is humbling. So thank you, Morgan Naslin. We appreciate your support, very generous support, and we will try to keep... all we're trying to do is, balance. We're trying to find balance. We are called extremists by some people. Now, a lot of these arguments are very disingenuous. Again, they're from people on this platform who, for whatever reason, get envious. I'm sorry to say it. Envy and jealousy are poison. It's absolute poison. It's like a resentment. You know what a resentment is? It's like taking poison and expecting somebody else to get sick. That's what envy and jealousy is. I like to get inspired. I see somebody doing something on YouTube good. I get inspired by it. For example, when I see Critical Drinker and Mahler put out these videos that I can never dream of putting out. Those guys, and they get the results. You know why they get millions of views? Because people love them, because they're really good at what they do, and I am going to try to get that good. I'll probably never achieve it, but I'll try. And I like Mahler and Critical Drinker. Those are two really nice guys, by the way. Two really good youngsters that make the world a better place. See, inspiration. It's, I love being, that's that feeling you get when you see like a really good movie, that, one in every 10 years kind of movie you walk out of. For me, I walked out of Fight Club just buzzing, like, whoa, that was like, I walked out of Guardians of the Galaxy that way. I honestly, while I like Winter Soldier as much, I'll just say as much, it's such a kick-ass movie. Guardians was something special. There was something special about Guardians because it reminded me of Star Wars, but it also like brought fun back. It revisited that fun of the late 90s and early aughts that we've just completely lost now because we can't have fun because everybody's got to stick up their ass now. So inspiration, you walk out of there and you want to create, it's when you read a good comic book, like a Todd McFarlane comic book just makes me want to draw, makes me want to go sit down and sketch, which I haven't done in years. I won't have time to do it. One of these days, maybe I'll sketch something. Yeah, I know how to draw. I just don't do it very. I'm no Dan Fraga. I'm no Todd McFarlane. I am no Ethan Van Sciver. But I'm better than whoever drew You Brought Me the Ocean. I'm better than that. Mr. Fish returns for $20 Australian. Real life happens to catch up with us. It does. Real life is caught up with all of us. Biggest 169 for $5. Remember when a TV show was bad, it would be canceled even on the first episode? Come to the Temple of the Golden Asda. Ha 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 ha. I made a stinky. Why, thank you. Is that in the Scrolls of Asda? Mark C., the great Mark C. Is John Wayne being canceled for being problematic or for being the pinnacle of masculinity? D, all of the above. Mark C. See what I did there? Ooh. Exploding Prinny for $5. Someone let Mags know that I'm buying more Dynamite books than ever before. Vampy, Elvira, Betty, Red Sonja, Sacred Six. Consider that in the future. Absolutely. And when it comes to Dynamite Comics, they're kind of getting it from both sides right now. Apparently they donated to some BLM organization and Reddit found out. I don't know what the facts are on that. I have been promising to talk to somebody there for like 2 months and I've just been too busy to do it. And if they even still want to hear from me, but I'm going to call him. Nick Barucci watches the show. He donated $100 and I think the guy is a straight up dude. Okay. I think they are trying not to get too political. I mean, it's impossible to stay out of it. Yes, they've employed Gail Simone. Listen, I'm not an SJW. I'm not going to cancel Dynamite because they employed Gail Simone. Now, if they employ her again, I'll voice my dissent over it. But again, I'm not an SJW. I'm going to take a comic book at a time, case by case study. I canceled Marvel. I canceled DC. Comic books were my first love, my first passion. They've been my life. I worked in the industry for 10 years. I was a pro. And I gave up Marvel and DC. That's how bad things got. And I'm not right wing, and I'm not some crazy canon fundamentalist. I don't mind some change. But the comics are bad. And on top of being bad, they're political propaganda now. And the art sucks. And quite frankly, the art is better at Indiegogo for some books. Sometimes, I'm going to recommend books. Well, I'm going to recommend whatever the hell I want to recommend. I'll be honest when I recommend this stuff. Some stuff I'm going to recommend just straight up quality. I don't know who the people are, but I'm going to recommend the books. And then I'm going to recommend some books who are my friends, who I want to support. They might not be the best books in the world. It might not be the best art in the world, but you got to start somewhere. Okay? So I just want to be upfront with you guys. I try not to push too many things on people here on this channel because it's supposed to be a place where we can come and hang out. And once in a while, though, is fine. With Ethan, he's got a book on Indiegogo, and I think Zach's book is ending on Saturday, so maybe we'll get him for a little while on Friday too, to pump up his book a little bit. And if you want to buy it, cool. If you can't, cool. No problem. No problem. Mark C. for $10 says, some of my super chats go right through. Others get the circle of buffering death. Strange. It seems to happen when I use words that are allowed but not wanted. That's been happening a lot, Mark C. I saw that happening in RK Outpost live stream today. Now, YouTube has had some problems with super chats from phones. I know that has been a thing, but there's also been words. It's going to get worse prior to the election, folks. It really is. And then we'll see what happens after that. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Mr. Fish returns for $20. Hi, Neil. Hi. Bomb Tombadil. Cheers, Quarter Black. Roger Stone's sentence has been commuted. He's a free man. And the way they commuted it, he can appeal it so it can be struck down completely. And it looks like, not to get too much into politics, it looks like Manafort might be able to get out too, because it turns out all that stuff was bullshit. And, I try to look at things impartially, but you can pretty much tell that that whole thing was a sham. It was bullshit. And if that's the way you're trying to take out your opponent when you can just, find a better candidate and then vote, because that's what we do in this country instead of spending 4 years trying to dethrone somebody. Because guess what? When precedents get set, the other side can use them. That's why it is the adult thing to go, you know what? I didn't win this one. Maybe we'll get them next time. It's like playing a sports ball game and spending all your time trying to reverse the decision instead of just going out and try to win the next time you go out. Again, you don't have to like the Orange Man. Everybody's welcome here. My personal belief, and this is just for me, I'm not telling you how to live. There's been a lot of presidents that have been in office that I don't like. But once they're the president, they're the president. You can still criticize that president and wish they were gone. And there's been presidents I liked at first and then I didn't like by the time they were done. I'll be honest with you, I haven't liked many. Haven't been a big fan of many. Now, I've only been around for 5 decades. So how many presidents? Okay, so Nixon was in office when I was born. One of my earliest memories was him resigning and my dad cussing about it. Then there was Ford. There was Carter. There was Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, and Trump. It was 9 presidents, man. I'm getting old, dude. The mouse was arrested for Brie larceny. Oh, Ben Parker, that's a good one. I wish I would have read that one. Brie larceny. I got to use that for a title. So the title today is probably going to be The Comic Book Industry Ends with a Whisper. And Brie larceny. And cancel Culturepalooza or cancel Culturama. Yeah, we'll try to think of some clever names. Pierre Chan. I don't know if it's Pierre Chan or Perry Chan. I got to ask him because it's Pierry. So I'll say Perry Chan. Did a video that we will make part of Friday Night Tights this morning when you see this. It's midnight right now. I'm finishing this up. I've been recording it kind of throughout the week, and yes, I have to throw on a different shirt. And you're going to see this in the morning. I don't know if I'll get to the Inquisition and Nerdrotic Nooner stuff. It's getting kind of late. I need to be rested for Friday Night Tights. Plus, new microphone. I've got my soundboard right below here that you can't see. And I've got my new Rode XLR that I'm going to use. So hopefully we won't have sound issues. Yeah, there's been major sound issues. And it's this USB mic, which honestly, this thing works better with a Mac, I think. What happens is, I found out, not that you guys care that much, the drivers get screwed up. So I have to unplug and plug back in the USB mic, and then it sets up again and it's fine. It like resets. You know, I would expect a little more from a $250 mic. It's been a good mic. It's got me, well, it's been with me this entire journey. So thank you, Mike. I'm going to keep it, or maybe I'll give it away. I'll give it away at Star Trek Las Vegas. And yes, we are working on that. It certainly looks like California is going to be locked down for the rest of the year. I don't know if Vegas is. Here's my guess. If anybody cares. We're getting an obvious spike now because people were rooting. Why do I keep saying rooting? Looting and rioting. We'll just say rooting. They were rooting, and some people were protesting. Hard to tell the difference between the two, obviously. That's why the numbers spiked. And there's more tests. But if you look at the actual deaths and hospitalizations, they're down, except for here in the Bay Area. I think I talked about this on the member stream. San Quentin, the beer bug ran through San Quentin, and they filled our local hospitals with prisoners from San Quentin. They tried to keep that on the down low, but they didn't do a very good job of it. Mrs. Nerdrotic has a source inside the city who's been telling us all kinds of stuff. But the plan is to lock down the rest of the year. But they're going to do it. It's not going to be full lockdown. But it'll be the lockdown that hurts small businesses the most. And the Walmarts and the Targets and the Walgreens and the big companies will be just fine. The Twitters. But the small business owners, the female small business owners, the alphabet community, small business owners, completely screwed. And guess what, San Francisco? You're not going to like Election Day. Neither is California. There is a lot, and I mean a lot, of hardcore, liberal San Franciscans and Northern Californians who have had enough, and they're pissed. And I've talked to a lot of them. And they've finally recognized that this is political. And we're talking huge London Breed supporters donated to her campaign, was part of her campaign. She's losing people left and right who were her allies. So quietly, you will see some changes. I'm very confident of this, by the way. Not enough for me to stay or anything, but I wouldn't be feeling too comfortable if I was Gavin Newsom, the mayor of LA, Garcetti, is that his name? London Breed. I wouldn't feel comfortable right now. Mr. Anthony Hunter gives us awesome. American Christianity is infected with Karens. I'm a Christian and I love D&D. Yes. That seems like such a throwback to the 90s. The religious folk I know, including both of my mothers, are pro-gay marriage, and they are devout Christians. Pro-gay marriage. They're not about against D&D or Harry Potter or any of that nonsense. And most Christians are that way. And you know what? Most Muslims are that way. And oh my God, it's just everybody's broken up into their groups and stereotypes, and it's gotten ridiculous. It's so weird how 2015 and 2016 made like a huge comeback, but I understand it because they were getting their asses kicked. Because everybody started seeing through the superficial bullshit virtue signaling and saw what they were really about. We've seen an unmasking over the last 4 weeks. And believe me, as time plays out, as things play out, this is a good thing. Because our opponent before was hiding behind a lot of lies and a lot of shields. But now we see what they are. And I'm talking specifically about the political parties, right? Say what you want about the rioters and the looters and the protesters. Most of that, I believe, was a lot of locked up bored people who decided chaos would reign for a little while. What did you think was going to happen? People were predicting this. You know, I remember the first weekend it happened and Jeremy was saying it's going to get bad. And I'm like, I hope it doesn't. But all it takes is one dumb move. And what I meant was a cop doing something. And a cop doing something stupid. And guess what? A cop did something stupid. And horrendous, by the way. Let's not forget that. Did it justify everything else afterwards, aside from peaceful protesting? Obviously not. So I'm not going to back off on that statement. I don't think we should relieve anyone of the responsibility for hurting small businesses now because they went out and protested too long. It wasn't about George Floyd after the first week. It started becoming about a bunch of other things. And what it did, and this was intentional by some of the Antifa people. They definitely wanted to hurt small business, hurt the economy. And think about these people. Let's think about some of the Antifa folks, the masked Antifa folks. They have no problem at all destroying a family's livelihood. Like, sleep like a baby at night for doing that. But they think they're on the side of good? You think you're on the side of good. I hope people start to recognize, and I know all of you do, you're very smart, beautiful, intelligent people, that right after the George Floyd thing, there was an opportunity for actual unity and change because everybody was in agreement that he was murdered. And we could have gotten some legislation and some real dialogues could have happened because there was agreement. But it got hijacked. By the same group that hijacked Occupy. I've talked about this before. Agent provocateurs. And they stole the message of George Floyd. They stole it. So I hope people recognize that someday. And maybe we can revisit the real adult conversation and instead of defunding the police. You know, in a lot of ways, San Francisco is going to get what they want, from me anyway, and from the other people. In my neighborhood, direct neighborhood, seeing a house for sale was like seeing a unicorn. There's 4 houses for sale within 4 blocks of my house. 4. In San Francisco. That's crazy. So, in a way, San Francisco is going to get what they want. They want to defund the police. Okay, you're going to defund the police and the firefighters and the EMTs and the teachers and the meter maids and the street cleaners and all of their unions and the bus drivers. Going to defund all of it by defunding San Francisco by leaving. Me and my property tax dollars and my sales tax dollars and my income tax dollars are getting the fuck out of here. So, yep, defunding the police and everything else. And defunding Mayor London Breed. Sorry for the rant, but there you go. Hail, all. Did you see the Quartering did a video showing that 47% of The Last of Us 2 positive reviews have the same text? I did see that, but I think Ryan said that might have been taken from bad data. I can't remember that, though. I don't know that for sure. Watch Ryan Kinel's video on it, and I think the Quartering did a follow-up video on it, but no, I watch. I can't say I watch every single one of Jeremy's videos, but most of them. We'll say 90%. DRH888 for $5. Eric K for $2. Gary, your mic is low after your break. Yes. Thank you, Eric K. I was aware of it from my producer. Ali C83 for £10. Hey guys, enjoying the stream. Keep up the awesome work. Much appreciated. I've had the stream on my PS4 TV and in and out of the room, so I'll probably watch the whole thing again tomorrow. But I hear you. Thanks, Ali. Thank you. Mark C. Great show, Gary. Why, thank you, Mark C. Oh, you're great. In the past year, I have switched fandoms from Star Wars to World War II. You can't make George S. Patton a trans black communist fighting for the Red Army. Darth Starbuck for $5. Hail, Darth Starbuck for $5. That's awesome. 200 Watt Studio for $5. Wrong. It only applies to criminal justice. Watch Rakeda's video. Oklahoma, read past the headline. Yes. So the Oklahoma going back to the reservation thing only applies to criminal justice, not to any that Oklahoma's not going back all the way. No, it just turns into a federal issue instead of a state issue. Thanatos, and you know what? Everybody figured that out. 200 Watt Studio, but nobody does headlines on that because it's boring. It's like we lost half of Oklahoma. We didn't lose shit. We didn't lose shit. Listen, this is going to sound really harsh, but history is filled with conquering armies. I'm not going to feel bad for things I did not take part in. I am not going to spend a single second feeling bad. I can acknowledge that a lot of stuff was fucked up. Manifest Destiny was fucked up. Absolutely. But feeling bad, what does that change? What does it change? Oh, there's no empathy. No, that's not empathy. That's not empathy. Feeling bad, guilt is a crutch. Okay. So what you do is you recognize that was fucked up. I can't believe I got to say this shit out loud, but you do on YouTube. You recognize it's fucked up and you do not repeat it. That's why you need to know every bit of your history, and you can't erase any of it, even in entertainment, because then you'll repeat the same mistakes. We're already starting to repeat some. We're absolutely starting to repeat some. By Mr. Cannon's speech being allowed and not criticized, not all of it criticized, not just some of it, not just the anti-Semitic stuff, all of it needs to be criticized. And if it's not, well, then we know what you're about. And basically, when it comes to SJWs, it's often been said that they are the most racist people, and they are, because they see it's a life constantly lived through the prism of race. I look at individuals. Most people look at individuals. I would like to address you by your name, not by your pigmentation. And that's how I teach my kids. Content of character. But again, these are things we should just know. That's common sense. That goes right along with waking up in the morning and breathing. Judge a man and woman by the content of their character and by their actions. Some people's words are wind in the words of George R. R. Martin. I am waiting for Weird Al to be canceled for fat because of the size and Chinese joke. Thanatos Felicitas for $5. Thanatos Felicitas. It will come. Time will come. They just got to wait. There's a whole bunch of people. The next wave of cancel culture, maybe they'll hit them. Grandpeppy Fisk for $2. Az can't wait for you and RMB's prisoner reviews. Oh, he's saying, Az, I can't wait for your and RMB's prisoner reviews. And they already started them. Go check them out. This is off topic, but Thomas Sowell has a new book out. If you don't know Thomas Sowell, go buy one of his books. Colin Arts, I was aware of it. I'm a little bit aware of it. But I mean, if it's like political and stuff, not my cup of tea, man. I am going to read. I need to read one of these. I have stacks of them again. I got a bunch of more cock. Because everybody loves more cock. You got to have more cock. So I got a big old stack off of eBay for next to nothing. I love these old paperbacks. They're so dope. It makes me want to get all my old Conan ones back. I used to have like just freaking shelves of Conan. Then I got rid of them. Oh, the smell of old books. It's great. It's like the third best smell on the planet. All right, where was I? Grandpappy Fisk. Guys, can't wait. Okay. Here for Garrett. Doctor Who should be a man always. Says Athena's Owl. You're only here for Garrett, Athena? What about me? What about Az? It's okay, Athena. Thank you for the $2. Gare, says Mike Blair for $4.99. Gare Bear. Yeah. Every girlfriend I had called me Gare Bear. True story. Adam Wolford for $2. Edge of Tomorrow. It was a mixed light novel. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know what a mixed light novel is, but thank you, Adam. Edge of Tomorrow, which is Live, Die, Repeat. Yeah, was it Edge of Tomorrow? The Tom Cruise one? That was a good one. Fred Sacco for $20. Thank you for the $20. He doesn't have anything to say there. Otherworld for $10. Hail, Friday Night Tights. Heroes inspire, influences, desire. Heroes inspire, influencers, desire. I can't clap too loud. My kid's asleep. Nick Crescent for $4.99. That SJW hero clip is from Adam Carolla and Dennis Prager's documentary, No Safe Spaces. Really worth the watch. I will watch it. Thank you, Nick. I stole it from them. Sorry. Fred the Caveman. This is the best community. Love you all. Right back at you, Fred. Thank you for the Canadian $10. Sheila Allen for $2. Gary, did you see the SJW superhero cartoon on Twitter? I did. I actually included it, Sheila, in the beginning of the show. So if you go watch Friday Night Tights, I put it in there. Grem Pelican for $10. Great show, guys. Hilarious intro. Friday Night Tights has become my favorite show. LOL. Wow. Well, we've had a lot of requests by people to come on, and I will do my very best to get everyone on. I'm not going to be excluding people. I'm not going to be big timing people. If you don't get on right away, I'll try to get you on. The one thing is I'm not going to use, StreamYard allows us to use 10 slots. I'm not going to use that. I'm sticking to the 6 slot formula. Occasionally we'll bring in a 7th person, but it was a little tough for me anyway. So we're going to keep it to 6. But again, if you want to get on the show, contact Lady Gravemaster. And, I'm booked out for like a month right now. But if somebody cancels, and we're going to keep the back half of our shows, we're going to keep those slots open. See, as the shows go on and we lose people, I'm going to, like I said before, I'm going to bring on patrons towards the end and give them segments, and they can talk about whatever they want to talk about. I really appreciate everybody's patience with the Super Chat square ups too. I do my very best to catch everyone. If you feel like I missed one, again, we're going to have a special email set up so you can, and Lady Gravemaster is going to be keeping track as well. So again, this one's going to be a part 1. It's going to straight up be a part 1. We're probably just going to get through Friday Night Tights, and then I'll do Inquisition and Nooner and any pickups on the next one, which I'll try to have out Sunday. This show is nearing EFAP length. Poor Overlord DVD is going to have to find a new night, says John Ellis Bush for $4.99. He's doing, we go on earlier. But yeah, I mean, we're doing 5-6 hours. I used to try to cut it off at 4, but I don't think that's fair. I try to get as many super chats as I can in. Christopher Gorey, thank you for the $4.99 super sticker. But I think 5 to 6 hours is good length. I can maybe do an 8-hour one once in a while, but I do a ton of live streaming, and my voice gives out because I'm old. It's already starting to give out now. Eskimono Phono for $4.99. See you all in the square up. LOL. Yep. Eskimono Phono, you're in the square up, buddy. I love you so much. Christopher Gorey. I wonder is that Christopher Gore that he just put a different E on the back? Is that you, Christopher Gore? You guys kept me sane lately. Never bend the knee. The good Reverend / Christopher. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Never, ever bend the knee. And EFAP is fantastic. It is one of the best shows on the internet, period. And we love the Overlord DVD, my good friend Doomcock. Tonight's Friday Night Tight was off topic, but still so good. Yeah, it was like ridiculously off topic, Brown Gaijin, for $2. Here's the deal. I come up with titles. I try to be clever. I'm not clever all the time or ever. And then we only end up talking about half of what's on the title. So by the time it gets to Nerdrotic Live, the title is a little more accurate. I mean, that's the way I let the conversation dictate where we go. I let it flow naturally. I'm not going to be one of those people who agree, we're done with this segment and we need to, nah. I don't know. That's too regimented. Maybe we should do that. I don't know. I mean, you guys tell me what you think. If you don't like something, I mean, please let me know. I'm not going to get butthurt at all. I'll explain it this way, and this is how I always explain it. If I got a booger hanging off my nose, I want to know if I have a booger hanging off my nose. Don't worry about embarrassing me or anything, because I'm already embarrassed that I got a booger hanging off my nose. Please tell me. If I misspell, I misspell shit all the time. I need to know. And you guys are really good about that. And I appreciate you. Demonetized. Weird. I got a commercial when I log back in. They are monetizing it. Should be an easy fight. And it was. And it got turned over. For the cause, hail for 100 Australian dollars. D, thank you. And Culture Casino, thank you for the $5. And damn the cancel culture. Donating to this channel, tell Hollywoke to cancel and demonetize this, says Mulder Alver. Thank you for the $20. And yes, F Hollywood. Free Kodak Black for $100. Yo, Mr. Jesus Christ. That's a lot of $100. Yo, Mr. Gary, heard Spielberg is in Epstein's flight logs. Probably explains why his daughter is doing porn. You think he brought the babysitter with him to Fantasy Island when this crazy white man Razor Fist is going? When's the crazy white man Razor Fist going on this show? Hopefully very, very soon. I'm going to reach out to, I've already reached out to him, by the way. It's already been done. So where was I? I lost my train of thought. Spielberg, was he on the list for the flight? I wouldn't be surprised. Can't say I've heard his name on it, but I know Bubba's name was on it like 20 something times. But if anybody knows if Spielberg's name was on it, I'd like to know. And I don't call for this enough, but yeah, if you, inside information is something I get once in a while. It's always safe with me. But if there's something you feel like needs to get out there and you can't do it, you can't put your face on it because you might lose your job or something like that, send it my way. I will never, ever, ever release your name. Again, I get inside information quite a bit. We get it quite a bit. And you don't have to be the biggest YouTuber to get it. I was getting info when I had 10,000 subs on TV shows. So it happens. I guess people just, now I don't get as much as the next guy, because I usually don't run with rumor videos. Doctor Who, the reason I run with my Doctor Who rumors is because I know somebody who works with the BBC on that show. Not in the BBC, with it. Okay. And that person's not going to be there very much longer. They are going to quit. They are miserable. They tried, and they tried. But they have been miserable, and they're not the only one. Gary, are you a fan of the Dresden Files? I am. I even like the show that was out. I haven't read a Dresden Files book in a while. I have the comic books, but I like it very much. Jim Butcher is a cool dude. Bill Durkin for $5. He, for 3 years in a row, he had a booth next to me at Comic-Con. And, we talked a lot. He's a nice guy. Super nice guy. Had long hair. Don't know if he still does or not. Okay, the last 4 super chats. Mike Blair. Gary, shout out Graham Hancock for $14.99. Graham Hancock is a man I admire quite a bit. I don't like everything he does. I think he talks about the hallucinogenics a little bit too much. They have their place. I'm not judging. And maybe someday, when I'm towards the end of my life, I'll go, get on some DMT and try it. But I think he talks about it too much. But his research has been phenomenal and good for humanity. And he is trying to get humanity together to focus on the one true danger to all of us. It's not and I mean direct danger. And you know what? It's not the environment. And you don't laugh at this, it is shit falling from the sky that could wipe us out immediately. Watch one of my exozones. Watch the next exozone. It'll be in a couple weeks. And we will talk all about how the real danger is SMOD, the sweet meteor of death. And it could come at any time. And that's why we should stop squabbling and start focusing on that. And he's behind that through his research of the Younger Dryas era in the Ice Age, which is quick story on it. There's been 6 major ice ages in the Earth's history. A couple where the Earth was a complete snowball. Well, 12,000 years ago, there was a 2-mile high ice cap on top of Canada and North America that had been there for hundreds of thousands of years. Well, it in the middle. Okay, so the Ice Age ended abruptly and then restarted again abruptly after 1,000 years, and then ended again abruptly. Now, the Earth does things gradually. What stopped an Ice Age abruptly, restarted an Ice Age abruptly, and then ended an Ice Age abruptly, all within a few thousand years. And by the way, when the Ice Age ended abruptly, I mean it ended in a day. It ended in a day. So there's a comet impact theory from Randall Carlson, and Graham Hancock has put the pieces together. It's fascinating. It's real. And I think a lot of people have been driven to Graham Hancock through Ancient Aliens, which, with the megalithic stuff, it's really, really cool. But their hypothesis is it's all aliens. Graham Hancock, his hypothesis is it was us. There was an advanced civilization prior to the Ice Age that got wiped out. That got wiped out due to flooding, a cataclysm. And there's more and more evidence that shows that this actually did happen. And it's freaking scary. And it also, and the reason he gets so much pushback, and Randall Carlson and the scientists who are working on it get so much pushback, is because it proves that the environment, the climate is always changing. And it changes rapidly, and it can bounce back. By the way, we are currently living in the most temperate climate era in recorded history. It's never been better than now, the climate. And it was horrible and cold before. We survived through that. And this is the warmest it's ever been. And there's been small periods of like little mini ice ages, and humans regress and stuff. It's really fascinating stuff. Not all of it is right, but I think the general hypothesis is he's definitely onto something really fascinating and cool. And you can tell I've been talking about it for 10 minutes. I'm really into it. I'm really, really into it. Late shout out to the Square Up. Just starting a small comic collection. What classic superhero comic set omnibus should I pick up that maybe could never be re-released due to being problematic? I can't think of anything right now that would be an omnibus of the major superheroes. Maybe some early 60s stuff. I would say if you're into Western, I mean, it's never going to be worth money, but like Western stuff might become problematic. That would be my first guess. Or some early Iron Man. Early Iron Man might be problematic. You might want to try that. Some Tales of Suspense. No good for $10, but hit me up again. I'll think about that. Maldus Alvar, there are no longer Democrats. There are Democratic Socialists. No, they're Marxist. I'll take a Democrat any day. I don't care about it. Democrats are harmless. Well, I mean, I can say harmless, but they don't bother me none. Marxists bother me. And I think a lot of those Democratic Socialists were really Marxists. How do I know? The hammer and sickle flag that they wave all the time. Yeah. Elon Musk for president. The Mr. West can be the vice president or vice versa. Whatever makes the masses happy so that we can continue the business of living. Agreed, Mike Blair. And I love Elon Musk, and I would vote for him in a fucking hot minute. And he would smoke a joint in the Oval Office, and I wouldn't care. All right. I'm going to pause, see how much there is of the Inquisition, see if I can get a couple in. Be right back. Okay, we're going to finish up the Nerdrotic Nooner Not the one from yesterday, but the one from day before yesterday, because there's only 3 super chats. Then we're going to do a few of the Inquisition. Then we'll have to do a part 2 because there is a lot for the Inquisition, a lot more than I thought, and it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning, so we'll go for 10 more minutes. So we're going to start out with Slash and Burn Theory for $5. This again is from Cancel Culture Daily, Nerdrotic Nooner. Seems Star Wars fans are getting the last laugh because people connected to Lucasfilm are coming out and exposing the mistakes they made. They are, more and more. J.W. Rinsler has been making the rounds, but he can't say much. So, I mean, he actually put out a call that he wanted to come on podcasts, and I was thinking about bringing him on, but if he can't say anything new, I'm going to wait, and I would have him on when he can actually say something that he hasn't said on another podcast. And also, I'm not big on interviewing, really. I'm not that big on it. Brian Yoder, for $50, if Who Made Jodie the Nightmare Child, they could save it while changing the timeline in canon. They could. I think I read this one, but it's okay. They could make her the Valiard. They could make her the Ronnie. I wouldn't care. Just get her the fuck out of the doctor, the faux doctor shit. By the way, oh my God. There's a Roger Delgado Master 1/6 scale Big Chief that I want so bad. And you know what? I'm not going to give the money to Big Chief because it's got that goddamn logo on it. And because of RIP Doctor Who, I am not going to give them any money. Now, if it hits the secondary market, and listen, Doctor Who figures are rare. They are hard to find. Look at that. Look at that. That is unbelievable. But here's the problem. Right there. And wait till that gets canceled, the Master Delgado. But dude, just freaking, oh, hang on, you guys. There. Sorry, that's a little cut off there, but freaking badass. Badass. Gary, check out Yu Yu Kakusho. That must be some anime. Thanks, Jack White. I will try. I've never heard of it, but thank you for the $5. All right, we're going to get to a few Inquisitions, and I'll probably reread them and do a separate Inquisition. Again, there's a lot. So, yeah. Be right back. From the Inquisition, there was a lot of Star Trek talk. So we'll start with Maldus Alver for $20, pouring one out for Stage 9, the Unreal Engine recreation of the Enterprise D that got a cease and desist by CBS. And they did the Orville instead. So thank you, Stage 9. And yeah, CBS sucks. Scott Williams for $5. Me and my friends used to joke about comedy called Star Trek Garbage Scow in the 80s. Our ideas sound better than Lower Decks. Yes, and they are still. Scott. Fred W. Monzo for $4.99. This isn't Futurama. It's Saturday morning children's cartoon with classic distinctions. With class distinctions. Distinctions. Sorry. Thank you for the $4.99. It's even worse than that. Oscar Mayer for $2. Hail all and sundry. Long live the fighters. Long live the fighters. Psycho Dwarf 9 for $2. What's the target audience? Stoned toddlers? Probably. Fizzenthorpe for $10. In regards to the Lower Decks trailer, look at all the new Star Trek you're getting and all you can do is complain. What more can these studios do to please you two? Make good Star Trek. That would be it. Probably. Probably just good Star Trek, Fizzenthorpe. It's really bad. So it does quantity. I would take a good Star Trek 15-minute cartoon short over anything that CBS Star Trek has given us. Yes, they've given us a lot of Star Trek. That's not Star Trek and it's garbage, but you know that, Fizzenthorpe. Star Trekker 58 for $2. Data's ode to Spot was funnier than this. It was. It truly was. Maldus Alver for $1.49. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. I appreciate it. Boiling Blood for $5. Damn how Star Trek has fallen so low. They turned it into a parody. Just leave that kind of stuff to South Park. South Park does it so much better. So much better. Muzzle Velocity for $1.49. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. I appreciate it. The Fat Man 56 for $5. Hail Doomcock, the Star Trek cartoon is going to fail and fail. Frankly, I'd rather watch the terrified Gary face as talks food porn. Yes, I would too. Thanks. Dag the Gnome for 5 Canadian pesos. Have you guys watched Yellowstone? Watch Yellowstone. Kevin Costner has entirely rehabilitated himself. Damn. All right. I liked him in Silverado. That's about the last time I liked Kevin Costner. Dixon Cider. We'll end it with Dixon Cider for $5. Looks like Lower Decks took an upper deck on the franchise. I would laugh if it wasn't so pathetic and sad. It truly was. We'll go one more. Jaybird the Third for $5. I'll take 1973's Star Trek The Animated Series over Lower Decks. Great writing. And Filmation animation is superior to today's Cal Arts bullshit crap. And I just finished it for you. And that, we will end it right there. And we'll have to do a part 2 later in the weekend. So thank you everyone who super chats. Thank you everyone who supports the channel. I will see you in a couple of hours on Friday Night Tights with Ethan Van Sciver and of course the lads. Jeremy will be returned with Odin from Geeks and Gamers. We have Az from Heel versus Babyface. We also have Comics Division, and later on in the evening we will have Tom Connors. And I don't know if maybe we'll get Zach on. I'm not entirely sure at this point. At least for a little while, maybe to pump his book a little bit, and we'll see how the evening goes. Hopefully, it's a great show, and it will be because you're there. So thanks, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. Oh, and please go and make sure you are still subscribed on the main channel. YouTube just did its bot and old account scrub, and there's always collateral damage. It's that time of year again. They've been doing it for the last week. You know, the channel's still growing, but Jeremy and I were talking, and he's all, dude, refresh your subs. I just lost 200. And I refreshed, and I lost 200. I'm all, damn you. So thank you, everyone who has subbed. Thank you, everyone who supported the channel. Everybody have a great day. Not all who wander are lost, and may the wings of liberty never lose a feather.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe. Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.